How you doing? Um, I I kind of want to do this while I got it in my head because I just want to get the idea out there uh, for everybody. And I didn't really do it yesterday. Call to action that we got going on is write your elected officials, tell them we really need to legalize assisted suicide. And I saw something on Threads last night. Somebody was basically going, the religious person, well, this, that, and the other thing. Jesus died for our sins, blah, blah, blah. And they go, okay, so you're saying that he knew he was going to die. He made a choice to die for our sins. So basically, he committed suicide. So you should not have a problem, because it's like, because he goes, Jesus died for our sins, blah, 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 and I will meet him when I get to heaven. And they go, well, by your religion, he knowingly died for our sins. He basically committed suicide. So by your religion, he's in hell. So if you go to heaven, you won't be meeting Jesus. And it's yeah, it's a little over the top, but it's a logical thing. And I just responded to it. I go, yeah. I go, we need to legalize assisted suicide. This is something we should do because the main reason why we don't have it, we do it if an insurance company doesn't want to pay the medical bills. We do it if the hospital doesn't want to pay the medic. We have no problem letting somebody die if they're poor. You know, um, and that's the thing. We have no problem letting somebody die if they're poor and they can't pay their bills. Oh, I guess this religious thing can just go to the side. Yeah, but when you got somebody like me that's sick, that doesn't seem to be getting better, uh, the disability thing is all fucked up. Even if you get on disability, it's not really enough to live on. Uh, we should have, if we're not gonna take care of people, and that's fine. I'm not crying about that, but we should have legalized assisted suicide so we can go basically as humanely as our pets do. I'm not looking, again, this would still be, even if they allowed, assisted suicide when you're sick or when you're dying, um, that would be a step up from what currently exists where an insurance company can go to court and have the plug pulled on you, not willingly, forcing you to die because they don't want to pay a little money. Or forcing you to die because the hospital don't want to pay a little money. Because unlike every other civilized country in this world, we don't have nationalized health care. It should be free and provide, just like Congress. Mitch McConnell, Feinstein, all of them, they got free health care, top notch health care. Every fucking American citizen should get free, top notch health care. And if they can't afford it for us, then we can't afford it for the fucking politicians. Uh, and we should have something better for the military, especially after they come back, because a lot of them, again, I think they're doing the best they can because they don't want to tax rich people. But I think the military is doing the best they can with what they're provided. But, basically everybody that comes home from the military should be getting the same fucking health care your politicians. Because unlike most of those politicians, they actually put their lives on the line for our freedom. And then the other thing is, and I don't know where we're at on this, like something I just heard from Lou Elizondo sounds like maybe this is going. I don't know, but please, I think it only matters if you rate the people in Washington, your politicians, maybe the White House, maybe the cabinet secretary, shoot them an email and let them know. Because this is the thing, if we get it overwhelmingly, I don't think the special interest will have the power. But if we remain silent, they won't know it's a big deal and nothing's going to happen. But write them and let them know that we need Chuck Schumer's amendment needs to pass and be attached to the defense authorization bill. A must pass thing. And get Gillibrand and Rubio's amendment that will get attached to, my understanding is it'll get attached to the intelligence authorization bill. Again, another must pass bill. But we need those passed. We need those attached. We need the president to sign them. And again, I don't know what we're gonna find with ET in that. I mean, we're gonna find out what we're gonna find out. Um, I think it's at least possible that what we're gonna find out is that the military-industrial complex purported a fucking UFO hoax so they could launder a bunch of money. Anytime somebody got close to one of their secret budgets that was stealing money from the American taxpayers, I got a feeling that they created it's a possibility. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I'm just saying you got to accept that that could be a possibility. The same way, and this is a fact. This is not my opinion. The CIA, from what I remember, they admitted to dosing people with LSD to see how they react. Our American government irradiated people with nuclear bombs in the testing to see how they would react. There was a movie, I think it was called Project X or something like that. Had the guy who played guy who played Ferris Bueller. He was in Godzilla too. He basically was working at a lab where they were teaching chimpanzees or monkeys how to fly a plane. And then what you found was, and I think this was based on an actual event, if not, it's something that could happen. But it came out, I think, in the 80s, maybe the early 90s. Well, then he found out they were irradiating these people to see how the body would react if a bomber got caught in nuclear radiation while fighting. They wanted to know for how long they could. And the thing is, the one girl explained to Matthew Broderick, I think is his name. The one girl explained to him the monkeys don't know they're gonna die. And this was the thing. It wasn't an accurate test because the monkey doesn't know he's gonna die. Where the human is gonna might react differently if they know they're gonna die. Okay, now over the weekend, because I wasn't streaming, I didn't have to focus on talking. I did some terraforming here, and I reshaped this. I redid it. I expanded it. Now this side hasn't been done like that side, but I'm working on it. It's a work in progress, and I'm gonna call this a glitch. I'm gonna literally call this a glitch. I have yet, and I've got 3 of them here. I'm trying. Like, what I'm gonna do is I'm leveling up the ones I got. But like this guy here took one of their, even though they've been around longer, but every one of these that I attached to one of those workstations, all I can get is white, black, gray, and brown. I can't even get light gray. I have yet to see one of these clowns, regardless of what I do. And I put a sticky piston on it, and I think I cycled it like 50 times, and maybe if you do it like a million, which I'm not going to do, but maybe if you do it enough times, you'll eventually get one. But the villagers with any other color than those 4, I cannot get those other colors to show up. I've got multiple ones. I did it over here. I did it over there. I got 2 villagers or 3 villagers. I think I got a black, gray, and brown. Well, and I got a white. I already got a white one. I had him first. That was the first one of these villagers. But I got 4 of them. So these guys already have this color, which should send a message like, hey, I already got these. I don't need them. So I'm thinking there's a glitch where you cannot get that color out of a shepherd. And then the other thing and basically this is what I'm going to be doing while I talk. I'm gonna work on, because I need some more iron. I need mine carts to put these guys in mine carts. And the thing I've found is, as long as because I was great. I'm gonna still call this a glitch, but I'm gonna be fair. I don't think the game was ever intended for the massive amounts. I don't think the game was ever intended for the massive amounts of iron golems to be grabbed and thrown into another portal, and the sheer number, because I was literally like, I would go and grab like two, three, four of them, and I'd send them through the portal into the Nether, and then I'd go grab another. As soon as they would reappear, I would go grab 'em. Well, I think doing it that much, I was causing I'm assuming I'm the cause. It shouldn't be happening, but I am reasonably sure that the programmers never never intended for this many golems to be continually popping up. But if I just take one or two a day, they haven't seemed to fail on me. But anytime I get greedy, I stop getting iron golems until I respawn the game. And okay, now the thing I want to talk about, and like the thing is, I'm not gonna do either one of them as a theme. I'm just gonna talk about them a little bit, and then like the first one, it's the I Chin or the I Ching. I've heard of it before, but either I had never heard this before or I just didn't remember it. But I was watching one of those Ancient Alien special presentations, and it just kind of hit me. This I Chin or I Ching, they were talking that just like you have God, I think it's the just like you have the Egyptians Thoth, who gave them like math or something. He basically is a figure in their history that gave them stuff. The Egyptian people. I think he gave them the green tablets and some other shit. And okay, maybe he is going to work. I got some iron. I'm going to go back and I'm going to just every couple days or every day or two, I'm going to throw a couple more golems in there, and I'm going to work on that terraforming thing. And the reason I got that thing in there, I am sincerely worried that I am sincerely worried that because I kept having horses, cows, chickens, pigs, sheep, all going in through that nether portal into the. Well, the problem is I'm not 100% sure, but I'm reasonably sure there's a risk if they're just running around near my blaze spawner that gas will start firing at them. That's honestly the only thing I'm worried about, because I don't want the gas. I go in there very rarely. I'm real careful. Well, if they're running around willy-nilly, I could have a ghast end up destroying my farm through no fault of mine. So I put that gate in there so they can't. The chickens can still get out, so I got to upgrade that. But I basically fixed it so they couldn't just go running around willy-nilly in the nether causing mayhem and destruction. I do enough of that shit on my own. Okay. But I was watching this thing on it, and they were talking about how the I Ching was given to the Chinese people by a man and a woman, and they mentioned it. I don't know if they were brother and sister or if they were man or wife, but they supposedly survived a flood. And then they gave this knowledge to the Chinese people. Well, it sounds to me, and I think the timeline, I might be wrong, but I think the timeline fits with the Younger Dryas and some other stuff. And Because this is the thing, like when you get into Atlantis, that's how I think these two collide. Is because again, it was people that survived a flood, and when you listen to Graham Hancock and God, can't think of the other guy. He's a Mason, and he goes in. He basically, I think, goes into Atlantis more than Hancock does. But when you listen to them, they will talk about like Plato corroborates it. Although he got his from Solon, but Solon got his from inscriptions or writings at a temple in ancient Egypt. And they didn't, and this was one I saw, they go, well, they called them Atlantis. No, they didn't. According to Graham Hancock, and this probably comes from that Mason guy, I wish I could think of his name because I really want to. He seems like a really wise guy, and I want to give him credit. I honestly can't think of his name, and I might not even be getting Graham Hancock right. I don't know, but according to Graham Hancock, when Solon talked to them, they were not referred to as Atlantis. They were referred to as the primordial something or other ones. That's how they were referred to by the Egyptians, and. And then there's also talk that you hear, and again, I honestly don't know what's true. I'm not claiming anything, but these are the stories that are out there. Well, they also talk about how there is, um, there's one or two other nations that existed around the time of Atlantis. Uh, one of them, they, I heard, I think it was Graham Hancock, might have been somebody else. They referred to them as the ancient Athenians or something like that. And then the other one that they got is the nation of Mu or something like that. And that is down by. That was down by Australia. That is another case where come on guys, who wants to go for a lovely boat ride? Okay, I'll deal with you guys later. And but there was like supposedly a continent down there, and it one story I heard, and again I don't know if any of this is true, but they were talking about how there was this big continent that basically linked Australia, Southern Asia, and Africa. And he was making a good case of at least circumstantial evidence because it explains why there is a country over there by Australia that has language similarities with is that it has language similarities with it has language similarities with either French or South or Central American countries. Because they said their language has similarities with other nations that are on the other side of the world. Well, if there was a giant continent that kind of acted as like a land bridge where you might not be able to walk, but it wouldn't be this treacherous boat trip. You could maybe use canoes or smaller or mid-sized boats to get. It also explains why there are some animals in that area. Because again, they yeah, thank you. Maybe the golems are trying to be nice to him, so I'll quit banishing him on that water slide. Uh, but I don't know if I got enough. I don't know if any of this is going to help, but I at least want to, before I give up, I at least want to try. Because I really don't need all these guys. I really don't. But I would like to have one of these villagers for each color. Because at least until I get my emerald farm going, and at a certain point, it's just going to be faster to get the emerald farm going. Uh, Although I need a really good day to do like the stuff I did here, I can pretty much do that anytime. But to do the emerald farm, I got to be a little more coherent. To do the terraforming, that isn't that dangerous as long as I stay sleeping. Yeah, black wool. Okay. But yeah, so they were talking about this Ching being a gift from these two people who had survived a flood. So then I start thinking, well, this could be in theory related to Atlantis, possibly. And what happened was they so that right there, I'm thinking, okay, this might tie into Atlantis, possibly, potentially, maybe, big, heavy on the maybe. Well, then the other thing, and I've watched this episode, at least this part of it, I've watched a couple different times because I wanted to make sure, and I think I got it right, but I'm not 100% sure. And we'll go ahead. That ain't gonna work. Okay. See, this is another glitch. These guys have never been traded with, but every time I restart the game, there's at least one or two of these fucking clowns, and this might be why they're fucking up. They're not giving me the selections they should. And I think what I'm going to do is, because these guys haven't been producing anyways. Okay, now if I attack these guys, I'm gonna get one of them golems to come over here probably, who's gonna try and stomp a mud hole in my ass and walk it dry. So he's gonna suffer an accident. It's a horrible accident, and it's an accident that I will have no problem repeating multiple times until I get the fucking trades I want. OSHA would definitely not approve of the safety violations here. That is for damn sure. I'm feeling like Elon Musk. Oh, you fucking piece of shit. I might kill you just for fucking running away like that. And Jesus Christ. It's just a little fucking water. Where'd that little bastard go? Okay. I am gonna fucking kill him if he runs away again. I don't really have time for this fucking bullshit. I brought a minecart over. I was gonna send him on a nice little beautiful minecart ride. yeah. Okay. White, black, black, white. Okay. Brown, white. I'd even take a light gray at this point. White, black, black, white, gray again. White. You guys see a pattern here? I'm not getting anything but these four colors. Brown. I'm not going to do this all day. I want to show you. This, I think, is a bona fide glitch. Yeah, I'll do more of this later, but by that point, at least, I mean, really, as many as I did, there's 16 colors available. At that point, at least one of those ass wipes should have given me something other than those four colors. They really should have. So we're going to call that a glitch. Now, but that's the thing. When they said, hey, these guys here, they survived a flood. And this is the part, because again, I hadn't heard any of this. I'd heard about the Ching and you know, and other important things about it, and they probably mentioned it and I probably forgot it. But the thing that really seemed at least new to me was when they were talking about the Ching. There's like a piece of artwork. You know, if you studied Jeet Kune Do, if you followed it at all, Bruce Lee had this yin yang, and he had some Chinese inscriptions around it. And I can't tell you off the top of my head what those things stood for because I don't read Chinese. And but he had like 8 of them, and he had 8 ranks to Jeet Kune Do. Like at level 0, you're an empty circle or something like that. And then at level 1, you get certain colors. And this is the one that they might not use it anymore, but when I was taking it, when I started doing it in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a yellow and red or yellow and orange yin yang. One side was yellow and the other side was either red or orange, I believe. And that was for level 3. And that was for level 3. You little fucking bastard. Get your fucking ass in there. Come on. Okay, asswipe. We'll go the long way. You want to be a little bitch and not get in the water. Fuck you. I'm trying to do a stream here. You could cooperate a little bit with me. Yeah, you could cooperate a little bit with me instead of being a little bitch. And I might have a bonus one down here because I think the other one went into the water. I'm not 100% sure. Because there's one of them out here on the thing. I gotta look around and see if one of them went away. Oh well. Anyways, oh there he is. I must have ran right by him in my hurry to exterminate his ass. Hey, believe me, I know this may seem like a really bad thing, but the contribution you're making to the cause is really, really nice. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, come on. Yeah, oh, you are so much better than the one I just sent to the death chamber. Should put a sign up Gollum Schwitz or something like that, but no, the thing that got me was when they were saying that the I Ching, because the symbols are right on there, but I Ching is a base 8 binary system. The one that we currently use, I believe, is a base 10, and it's all based on the math. And this one was a base 8. And the thing that got me was when they said that they are pretty sure that all future computer languages will be based on it. And again, does the government know more than that? I would say that might indicate yes, that they know more than they're telling us. Oh, we can. Oh, I got to keep him because he's got Smite 3, but I do not need that Bane of Anthropod swords. Okay, we got an expert. Okay. I used up all. I had to get. I don't know if it was I don't know if it was a sword or a pickaxe, but I needed something diamond, and I literally used every emerald I had on my possession to get it, so I didn't have any. And I finally just now with you guys watching, just got some more emeralds. But that was the thing that got me. And if any of you are Stargate SG1 fans, it was an episode in the earlier seasons. They might have still been on Showtime at this point before Sci-Fi. And yes, if you did not know, Stargate SG1 started on Showtime. And then in the later seasons, I think around 5 or 6, around 5 or 6, it switched over to the Sci-Fi channel. Like Showtime wasn't going to pick it up anymore, and Sci-Fi ran with that shit. And then they took it to seasons 11 and 12 or something like that. They made quite a few episodes of it. They continued the Pride. Yeah, I didn't have that much, but I had a little bit of damage and I don't think it shot at me, but I think the gas shot at one of the farm animals, but it could have been shooting at me because I was in the neighborhood when it happened, but I don't think it was me it was shooting at. I got an egg farm, so I really don't need the eggs. So later on, I'm gonna make a different collection system. Oh! This one must have got out. Oh shit, I gotta get him out of there before a gas blows him to fuck. That's the first time that's happened where one of those, like, it had to be, because otherwise it couldn't have got up there, but it must have been one that formed in the wall and came out. So I might have to make that wall a little thicker up there to keep them from coming. But that is the first time it's happened. Yet another glitch, Minecraft. Yeah, live on my stream, history in the making. Those rare, unheard of Minecraft glitches. Okay, I get those on rare occasions. What the fuck is... Yeah. The blaze must have shot a mob that had come through or something too, and then that's the little bastard that came over and tickled my ass with some fire. I might have to put some more. I've had it before where I usually surround the entire scanner or the entire fucking spawner, and I didn't do that at the beginning, so I don't. Maybe I'll just deal with it. But it isn't very often, but it does pump them out. Well, I have not been over there in a while, and I've been coming in and out. Well, you know, even though it's not very often, as much as I've been in here dealing with this. There's probably 5 or 10 of them that have spawned in here running back and forth. I might have to extend this all the way over so that this is more protected, and then I don't have to worry about that gas blasting in here. And I don't know, I'll have to think about it. I did this in a hurry. I just wanted to get it up and running so I could have a better... Now I got to be careful because there shouldn't be, but it could in theory be a blaze that had come through. Clear the corner, rookies. But yeah, so that was the thing about that, where they were saying, and you know, but in that earlier seasons of Stargate SG-1, it was the first episode that Jack had gotten augmented by one of those ancient mind grabbing devices or head grabbing devices, and he had done something, and Carter, maybe it wasn't the first one, but I think it was the first one, and Carter was having trouble understanding what he did, and he just sort of muttered to her 10 is 8 or something like that, and then she made a big deal of, oh, well, it's this revolutionary base 8 computer language. And I really don't know, but I kind of wonder, was that a shout out by the writers to what they were talking about in Ancient Aliens, that this is going to be the future of computer programming? And they speculated that maybe if there are aliens, maybe the aliens are already using it, and this Ching that was allegedly given to us by these 2 survivors of a flood, maybe they were trying to help us out, and it's just taken us 10,000 years to figure it out. But that there was, and again, I might do a podcast on the Ching, but literally this was the first that I can honestly remember seeing something that I think would be podcast worthy. And I need to do some more research. I got a suspicion that what I just told you is the vast important thing that I care about, but I'll look into it a little bit if I can. And if I think there's enough to do like a half an hour stream with gameplay, I might do one later, but that really got me pumped up. And then the other thing that I want to talk about, and these both tie together, but Atlantis, because here's the thing. I started watching, I think it's called Hunting Atlantis. She's married, so the dream's gonna die, and I don't even know I know what she looked like when she did the show, but this girl, Jess Phoenix, I think it is, she ran as a politician and lost, and then after that, she hosted this show. She's like a co-host on it, and I don't know who made it. Uh, I don't know if it's Discovery. I would guess Discovery, maybe the Science Channel. But it was, I think they did a couple seasons of it. And I, at least for right now, can watch it. And it looked pretty good. It does. Uh, I gotta be honest, I might just be watching it because I find her fairly attractive. She's a redhead. She's very, very cute. Uh, she's got a better chance of getting a job like that than I do for talent. I mean, just your pure mental talent. So I'm not trying to say I'm better than her. I know I'm shit. I get that, but the hey, seriously, get your get your politicians to legalize assisted suicide, and it's just that much sooner I will stop doing these podcasts, trashing people that are better than me. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, Okay, now what we're gonna do is as much as I can, I'm gonna work on this. But I got this done, and I don't think I'm gonna do any more here. And then what I did was I basically just shaped what was there. I did not try to reinvent it, and I'm double checking. But this here, I don't know. I think it could be better. I think this is about as good as I'm gonna be able to get it for right now. But I like it. And I got this going so that you don't have all this stuff spawning. And if it does spawn, it's probably going to die by the time it gets down here to the bottom. But I got this. I had it done, and then what I noticed was this corner I didn't like, and this corner I really didn't like, so I redid this yesterday, and I like it a lot better on top and on the sides. I like the look of it a lot better. And then when I got this done, what I did is I built it all up, and what I did was I started at that stairwell, and I came out, and this one here is not meant to be symmetrical. It absolutely is not. The ones I did over there were. These ones here, I kind of let the shape that already existed influence me. Now, this was symmetrical. Both of these come out to the same distance, and then both of them are 733 222 things. So these are the same. This is unique over here. I again followed the terrain a little bit, uh, made it what I wanted. I don't know if I'm going to do another layer. I might. I honestly, at least over here, I might do another layer. And then this one here, I honestly cannot tell you if I'm going to do another layer like that. Like if I'm going to do, like from here, it would be a 3 high. Even with that, I think I'm going to, but maybe not. I might have this one because again, I heard one of the builders say that sometimes if you do stuff that's not symmetrical, it looks better. So I might have that one come down here, or I might take this all the way up to here, and I might do this one at this level, and just use what is here and just shape it, and then come out to here and go over. I don't know. I literally don't know. I might even have it come all the way out here and take it up, but I got to figure that out. Um, and this one here, I'm trying to figure if I want to do this one here, if I want to take it down one. Uh, that's what I'm looking at now. And then Yeah, I might just take this out to here and do another one at one here. I don't know. I want this to be multi-layered, but I don't know if I'm going to make it all exact and symmetric. Some of it I might follow just the land and see what it looks like. I think if it's multi-layered and not precise, I think it might look better. Instead of trying to make it in, and it might be a little less work for me trying to do it that way, and it'll still look good. Uh, well, anyways, I had seen it, and I finally got the ability where I can, at least for right now, watch it. I'm gonna try and get through, but I'm watching it when I go to sleep, and so I don't know how many episodes it played before I went to sleep, but I think I was watching or listening to like two of them. But the one thing I'm gonna tell you is, and I gotta say, I could be wrong. I absolutely could be wrong, and both of the people that were there, the guy and that Miss Phoenix, and she might not even be Miss Phoenix anymore because I think she got married. But both of them are very, very smart. I'm not trying to badmouth them. They're both very, very smart. But the thing that got me was where he was immediately talking about how he's not looking for Atlantis where it likely is. If you follow Graham Hancock and that Mason friend of his or Mason colleague of his, uh, all the, and it's limited, but all the evidence we have points to Atlantis being from about 11,000 years ago, at least the end of Atlantis. Uh, that was one thing Graham Hancock, he was doing an interview, and he made the distinction in it because they said something. He goes, we have a rough idea in theory of when Atlantis was destroyed. And there's other stuff, that we have a rough idea, like with the Sphinx and the pyramids. We have a rough idea that they existed something like 10,000 years ago. We don't really know for sure when they were built. We just don't. And and this is the thing with Atlantis. We don't know when it was built. We don't know how long it really lasted. And I might be wrong, but if I'm not wrong, I think I got this right. We really don't know. But we know we have a rough idea when it was destroyed. And this guy was looking for Atlantis likely long after it was destroyed. But here's the thing. I could be wrong. We really don't know. But the thing that I did like about the show, and if nothing else, this is something good that'll come out of it, okay? They went to a site, and it was over in that region, because he's looking for Atlantis, not in Antarctica, not in the Atlantic. And again, I personally, I could be wrong, but I think he's really taken a leap on some premises that are gonna basically send him nowhere useful for Atlantis. But could be wrong. And he said the stories, and I think he's right on this. So this is like a really good thing that he's doing. And he's the Indiana Jones. She's basically a geologist. They called her a volcanologist, so I think that's a specialty in it. But she's the rock expert. And the thing I liked is because I got to be honest with you, she doesn't look like a professor. She just doesn't. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but she really does not look like a bookworm or a professor. She looks like a girl you'd want to talk to at a party, But there was one of the, I don't know if it was the first or second episode, but the one guy gave her a rock, and I've seen these like old, decrepit white men do this, where they They get out their little monocle. They get out that little eye telescope or whatever you want to call it. She puts that in, and she's got it right. And I've seen this uh, Unearthed America and some of these other guys who are geologists like she is when they're out in the field like that. They have this shit. And I thought that was so funny because she's sitting there and then she basically goes, this is a volcanic rock. And the guy goes, very good. I think he was testing to see what she knew. Well, she nailed it. He goes, yeah, very good. It is a volcanic rock. And then her sidekick in this case, he's like the main guy in the show, but when it comes to rocks, face it, he's her sidekick holding her purse while she's getting the work done. And she explained to him, she goes, well, that's not it. She goes, there's more. It's a specific type of volcanic rock which cooled underground. Because he made, and then after she said that, he goes, well, could this have been blown here? She goes, no, you're not understanding. This cooled underground. This was not something that was ejected and progressed or propelled by the volcano, or it would look different because it would have cooled differently. So obviously, in her mind, and I think she's right, not an expert, she's like, this had to be brought here. And like another thing he did was he gave them something they had found, and it was a pottery shard at this site, and I wish I could tell you where it was, but it's near Croatia, near Turkey, near Italy and Greece. They were near the Black Sea, like all the sites in the first couple episodes when I was awake, they were in the vicinity of the Black Lake over the Black Sea or the Black Lake over there. And he basically told them because it was a dig, and you could see like a chunk of the earth that they had dug down from, and they had little markers going down it. And when he got halfway, 2/3 of the way down, because the guy goes, well, this is really the show host. He goes, well, this is really great, but he goes, how far does this go back? And the guy, he pointed out, he goes, well, this is about 3,000 years ago. This is about 5 or 6. And when he said it was about 5 or 6,000 years, he was like halfway or 2/3 of the way down the wall. And he goes, this is where it's telling us it's from. Well, he had a piece of pottery. He had a piece of pottery from like over 10,000 years ago. And the guy goes, really? And he said, yeah. He goes, that the evidence points to that. And the guy goes, well, modern understanding says there was no pottery, definitely nothing this high quality more than 5 or 6,000 years ago. And then she goes, well, if that's true, we're changing history. Yes. And this is what I'm saying. I don't think he's gonna find Atlantis because I think he's looking at it the wrong way, but he is still gonna find something or people like him. And the one thing I was saying, maybe he's right. Maybe he'll find it, but he's thinking Atlantis is like from about 5,000 years ago. And the best evidence I have seen, and some of this may not have come out because this show's a few years old. Some of this might not have come out, but some of the best evidence, and here's the thing, even if it had come out, this is not widely accepted by the archaeological community. When Graham Hancock and that Mason guy was on, I think it was Joe Rogan, they were talking about it, and they said, they go, look, mainstream archaeologists, the professors at the colleges, the majority of them know that there's a problem. They just don't want to deal with it. Because they were talking about it, and they said, they go, well, yeah, the ones we've talked to, they are well aware that there is a problem, but they said these guys are ready to retire. They've been teaching this archaeology for something like 30, 40 years in some cases, and they just don't want to go through the hassle of fighting with everybody. So they're kind of leaving it to the next generation to fix, which I think is lazy and a cop out. But I think any normal every normal person. I ran into that when I was working. There were things that needed to be changed, and I talked to people in management that knew it needed to be changed, but they didn't want to deal with it. They'd be like, well, just, hey, when the auditors come in for our ISO audit, just do it this way. We don't need to change anything. We'll just do it this way. It's like, no, if we're going to do it while the audit's here to get our certification, then we should be doing this all the way around. And I explain to one, I go, I don't understand. I go, this is so fucking lazy. All we got to do is change the book. I go, these people don't care how we build the vehicle. They just want the documentation to reflect how we're actually building it. I go, that's all we got to do. We just got to change the book to describe what we're doing. And they go, well, yeah, you're right. And still didn't want to fuck with it. Just, hey, when the audit comes in, just do it this way. And then when the audit's gone, we can go back to doing it the right way. This is not how the system is supposed to work. And so I don't know. But that's the thing that got me. And again, I haven't watched it other than like a episode and a half or so, but it looks really good. Unless you've got vision impairment, you're going to find that one host very attractive, or maybe you don't like women, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I honestly think it's going to be interesting. And then as I watch the show, if there's anything really, really interesting about it or controversial, I will try to do podcasts on it, kind of like what I did with, hopefully better, but kind of like what I did with Skinwalker Ranch. And but that was the thing, because he'd already dug up, he already found that one thing where it's like, well, yeah, this existed 5,000 or 6,000 years before modern day understanding thinks it's possible. And the other thing, like usually when I hear people talk about Atlantis, they are talking about one city. And the thing he mentioned, and I am pretty sure he's right on this, Atlantis was an empire of 10 cities. So maybe he'll find one. And this was the other thing he was doing in the one, they were finding petroglyphs or cave art that might have been influenced by Atlantis. Because here's the thing, like that Ching, two people that survived a flood, and they spread out and they were trying to restart humanity. Well, maybe they won't find Atlantis. Maybe they won't find any of the 10 cities where he's looking, but maybe he'll find one of the offshoots where the survivors of Atlantis were trying to restart. Because I've seen, again, I don't know that they have evidence. I don't know if it's true. I don't know how much sense it makes. But I've heard documentaries where they talk about that the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians, not the ones you hear about in the Bible, or at least the newer parts of the Bible, from only like 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years ago. But they said that, like the pyramid builders, the Sphinx builders, they were basically being led by a couple people from Atlantis, and how they built that stuff. And some of the other megalithic buildings, it was built by leftover Atlantean technology. And when you look at like the Ark of the Covenant, if you get out of the religious dogma, your ancient megalithic people will say that, well, that wasn't a unique thing in the Bible. It was a technology, and ancient Egypt had it. And what I'm wondering is maybe it's like Atlantean tech, and to put the sci-fi spin on it, there was an episode where one of the ancient ascended beings kind of fell in love with Carter, had been lonely, and he reverted back to being human. And something came up he needed to stop. And so he had to build like a primitive, one-time only use Stargate. And he built it. It was real crude. It looked handmade, but he was able to do it. Well, what if that's the Ark of the Covenant? What if after the flood? What if after the tidal upset? What if after their civilization was destroyed, they lost all their advanced technology? Like maybe they used to have a little handheld device that could do stuff, and they, something you might have seen on Star Trek, uh, and maybe they lost that ability. Well, that was a way for them to get energy, and they were just basically doing whatever they could to hold on and survive. Maybe by building that Ark of the Covenant, it was a way to create electricity or to create a weapon or create a communication device. And they had to build it that way because they no longer had the ability. Like if we wiped out, and I've said this before, if we were to be wiped out, and like that, like the super volcano in Yellowstone Park erupts and wipes us out. Well, the handful of people that are going to be surviving, they would probably not be able to build a satellite and launch into orbit. They would likely not be able to make cell phones, and all that shit would be gone, more than likely. And they wouldn't be able to rebuild it. Equipment. As soon as the spare parts were gone for cars, and as soon as the gas was gone, we'd probably be back on foot. A lot of people don't realize that because you let's say you bumped into 1 million people in a day, maybe one of them would actually know how to recreate one of those, and he wouldn't have the infrastructure to do it. So I don't know, but I will watch that show, and if I find anything, again, by all means go watch it. Maybe you'll have a better time because like some of that stuff when I were talking about the Ching and base 8 computer stuff, that's a little out of my field, a little bit. That's that it's like quantum mechanics. Whenever I watch something on that, it's like, look, I have an inkling on it, but I'm not suffering from Dunning-Kruger. I'm not stupid enough about either one of those to think I'm an expert at it. And it's a thing I don't understand, although I find it fascinating. But as I watch it, and feel free to go ahead and watch it yourself. But as I watch it, if there's anything interesting that's worth sharing, I will do my best to spin it to you on here. But let's see. Yeah, actually, that made it like a good hour. But yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Hopefully, I'll be able to get on more this week. Won't have any bad days. Hopefully, doubt it. But peace out, and I hope everybody has a good day.